Hey guys, welcome back. In today's video I'm going to go through a recent Wildcat commission, so a little different this time, it's not a wolf, so stay tuned. So as normal, I'm starting off with a resin cast of a original sculpture that I have sculpted out of monster clay, moulded in silicone and then cast in resin, and the resin is this white stuff here. And I'm painting the nose and the mouth a little bit different this time. I'm going for a pink colour because I wanted to, the customer wanted a Ocelot inspired Wildcat, so they seem to have a lot of pink on their faces. But I'm also putting my little own flair on things, and I'm putting some black around the eyes like I normally do in all of my other dolls. It's just a little something of mine that I have been doing since I've started. And for this I'm just using just some black acrylic paint from the brand Chrome Krill, but you can use any good acrylic paint that you like. So if you're making something, I'd suggest using some reference photos for something like a creature that you're making that's real or anything like that. That way you know what you're doing and you can keep an eye on what is right and wrong. So I looked at a lot of pictures of an Ocelot on Google and just made sure that I had the coat right and all the markings on the face right. So I'm going in and painting the eyes a nice deep blue colour, and I'm using the same really good quality paints, Lumiere by Jacquard, and this is like a really dark midnight blue, and it's got a great coverage, so you only really need one coat if you have this particular paint. And once that's dry, I'll go in and use that dry brush technique to fill in the pupils in that black Chrome Krill paint. And I'm just building upon layers on this, and you can check out all my other videos for any more painting jobs on pupils. So I plan on doing some more sculpts soon, brand new ones, and I'm going to be making them compatible with glass eyes. So a lot of my new dolls I hope to have glass eyes, but I still will do painted eyes as well, because glass eyes are very, very time consuming to make in resin. But yeah, I do like painted eyes too, you know, much of a muchness. And using the same paint as I did for the nose and mouth, it's Devian Matisse in Ash Pink, and I really, really like this pink colour. But I used it on the bottoms of my cat paws just to make them a little bit more realistic and more like the Ocelot. Moving on to the fur, and I've hoarded this fur for quite a few years. Ever since I started, I've hoarded it. And I've never really used it on much apart from one other doll. It's a really nice fur. It's fake fur, 100% fake fur, even though it looks so realistic. This fur is a little bit difficult to cut out because you can see how it has patterns in specific areas. So it has underbelly areas in white, and it has the stripes on the back. So a bit of a waste of material, but if you want to use the right patterns, this is what you have to do, which is unfortunate. So you can see how I've cut it, and it's got like white down the bottom near the underbelly and the legs, and the pattern up the top. And it's difficult to get the pattern in the correct spots because everything's straight and your patterns aren't straight. And like normal, I'm just cutting the backing and not the pile of the fur, because that would be useless if you've cut the pile, because then it's not long enough. And this is quite short fur, which short fur is really hard to work with when you're using the fur for something. It just tends to have its own mind and it won't stay together, and it's less forgivable as well. If you're not quite up to par with your patterning, it's less forgivable because you can see more. So once I've cut all the pieces out, I sew it up through the sewing machine, leaving the back end and the feet area open, and of course the neck area for the head. And again, I prefer doing the machine because it's a lot stronger than hand sewing or gluing things. And then we can turn it the right side out. And here's what we have. The problem with pattern fur is you can't really trim it because the pattern doesn't go all the way to the base of the pile. It's always an undertone. So you can see how it had a grey undertone. So you can't really shave the legs because you would lose all of that patterning. So yeah, you really got to consider that if you're doing something with patterns. Okay, so once this is done, I'm then going to make my armature, which I don't show because it's something that I've done myself and don't really want to show. But I am thinking of moving to plastic ball and socket armatures for the bigger dolls. I do still want to use my wire on smaller dolls because it does have a really good range of motion, what the ball and socket armature doesn't offer, because that has limited range of motion. Even though it's really, really good, it's just very limited compared to wire armature. So sewing up all the ends with a ladder stitch, and then I'm going in and attaching that faux fur to the resin pieces using some tacky fabric glue. So I furred the face using completely white because I wanted to blend in the face to the body. So I furred it all white, and then I had airbrushed this first layer of brown down, and then I'm going to go in with my stained Sharpie pen, and this is a fabric marker which I can't find. I'm out of stock and I can't find them now, but I'll find them eventually, but completely out of stock, and I've been everywhere to try and find them, but the search continues. Anyway, just going in and marking all of the patterns using this texture, and this texture is really handy because it doesn't splay out anywhere like a brush would, and it is very precise and very good where it's going to put things, and it doesn't make things too clumpy when you add the paint, I guess, to the fabric. I think it blends in really well, and yeah, it's very, very precise and has like a felt tip. So if you're interested in a video about these markers and I find some again, leave a comment in the comment section just asking some questions about anything with these markers, and I'll try and include it in the video for you because I know a lot of people have asked stuff like markings and fur and stuff. So yeah, if you have any questions, leave it in the comments and I'll try and get to it when I find these markers again. So at this point, I'm pretty heavily referencing Ocelot pictures on my computer, which is next to me, just so I get the markings right. And I also changed it up a little bit because I wanted it to be what I did and not an actual copy of a marking, so just a little bit different. And I also decided to change the mouth from pink to black. Go figure. So the rest of this video is going to be the markings. I've left the whole marking process because I know some people do want to see it and I know some people don't, so if you don't want to see it, click off now. But I'll leave you with the markings for the rest of the video.
Mr. Breeze, Mr. Rain, Mr. Pine, and Mr. Moon.
And here's the finished little critter. What do you think? Alright, that's it for me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. If you have any requests, you can leave it in the comments down below. You can also check me out on Instagram and Facebook at Creatures of Nat, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!